All right, so are you ready to dive into Sufism?
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Well, we've got this autobiography of an American Sufi.
Okay.
It was published back in 1977, and it's like a firsthand account of his journey to knowledge and spiritual transformation.
Sounds
It
fascinating.
is, it is. We're talking secret societies, near-death experiences,
Wow.
all sorts of mind-bending encounters. It's not your typical spiritual journal, let me tell you.
If I can imagine.
I'm really excited to unpack it all
Yeah.
with our expert in Sufism and esoteric traditions.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to dive into this autobiography
Hmm.
and see not just the philosophy of Sufism, but,
Yeah,
the actual lived experience of someone going through it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it starts with the author's chance meeting with this mysterious figure in, of all places, a Hollywood occult shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sets him on a path he never could have imagined. And get this, his mentor made him wait 3 years before starting any training.
3 years.
Yeah, talk about testing your patience.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It is.
Well, I think, that 3-year wait wasn't arbitrary. It speaks to the Sufi emphasis on preparation and cultivating the right mindset. Because Sufism isn't just about intellectual knowledge. It's about inner transformation and a direct experience of the divine.
Makes sense, yeah. So after 3 years of, I guess, soul searching, the author finally begins his training. He talks about these strict routines, strange exercises, and this visualization technique where he has to build a house in the mind. What's the significance of this house?
Oh, the house in the mind. It's a powerful metaphor for the inner work Sufis undertake. Each room, each detail represents an aspect of the self
Hmm.
that needs to be understood and refined. So it's about creating a space for spiritual growth within your own consciousness.
So not a literal house, but like a symbolic representation of the self.
Precisely. And even the process of building this house is just as important as the finished product. It requires discipline, focus, a willingness to confront what you find within those metaphorical walls.
I see. So this training clearly had a profound impact on the author. He even describes his first encounter with a higher consciousness during this time. He claims a snake emerged from a hole in space in the middle of the night and imparted knowledge to him.
Whoa, that's a vivid image. In Sufi teachings, snakes can represent transformation, the shedding of old patterns. So this experience, while startling, definitely aligns with the Sufi understanding of the soul's journey towards enlightenment.
Wow, that makes you wonder what else he encountered on his path. Well, the autobiography then takes us on this whirlwind tour as the author searches for what he calls the inner world. He travels to Jerusalem, Morocco, and Turkey, each location rich with Sufi history and symbolism.
These places weren't just random stops on a tourist itinerary. They were carefully chosen for their spiritual significance. Jerusalem, the meeting point of 3 major religions, could represent a convergence of spiritual energies. Morocco, with its vibrant Sufi heritage, offers a connection to living lineages and practices. And Turkey, with its historical links to Rumi and other Sufi masters, provides a deeper understanding of the mystical heart of Islam.
That's really interesting. It's incredible to think about all the layers of meaning woven into his travels. He describes digging for ancient scrolls in Jerusalem, maybe searching for lost wisdom, and encountering a magician in Morocco who summons jinn. Was he stepping into another dimension, or was it all smoke and mirrors?
Well, jinns are fascinating beings in Islamic and Sufi lore. They inhabit this realm unseen by most, and they possess powers beyond human comprehension. So this encounter could symbolize the author's confrontation with hidden forces, or even a test of his spiritual understanding. But as you'll see, things aren't always as they appear.
And that's where the plot thickens, right? This whole adventure with the jinn was actually an elaborate test orchestrated by a secret Sufi brotherhood.
A secret Sufi brotherhood.
Yeah, like something out of a spy thriller,
Wow.
but with the mystical twist.
Absolutely. This twist really highlights the Sufi concept of wits, living in a state of awareness, resourcefulness, constantly discerning between illusion and reality. He wasn't just wandering aimlessly. He was being tested, observed, and ultimately guided toward a deeper understanding.
So this brotherhood takes him under their wing, and his education intensifies. They have a very unique approach to experiencing the inner world, though, right?
Yeah. What's intriguing is their emphasis on creating a mental model of the inner world before actually experiencing it directly.
Okay, so it's like building a detailed map before setting foot in new territory.
Yeah, exactly. It's about deliberate preparation and visualization, not blindly stumbling into the unknown.
Makes sense. So how do they go about building this mental map?
Well, that's where we'll pick up next time. The Brotherhood's methods are both fascinating and revealing, and I think they offer a glimpse into the power of the mind in shaping our spiritual experiences.
Seems like we're in for another deep dive. I'm eager to hear more about these techniques and how they connect to the broader principles of Sufism.
Awesome. We'll see you in part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive. Last time we left off with our author joining this secret Sufi brotherhood
Right.
and learning their method for preparing to experience the inner world, this idea of like building a mental model first. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It seems to kind of echo some modern day practices too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like this idea of mental mapping aligns with, cognitive behavioral therapy, even sports psychology, where visualization is used to enhance performance and achieve goals. But the Sufis, they were exploring these techniques centuries ago, using them for spiritual development.
So it's not just about like creating a visual image in your mind, but really engaging with it on like a much deeper level.
Yeah, exactly. The Brotherhood taught the author to build this model of the inner world with incredible detail, engaging all of his senses: sight, sound, touch, even smell. Essentially constructing a virtual reality experience within his own consciousness.
That's some serious mental discipline I
Yeah,
can
that's
only dream of. So what was the purpose of this elaborate mental construction? Was it just a training exercise or something more?
Well, the Brotherhood believed that by thoroughly mapping the inner world in his mind, the author would be better prepared to navigate it when he finally experienced it directly. It's like, familiarizing yourself with a foreign country's customs and language before you travel there. You're less likely to get lost or make cultural faux pas.
Right. It's about reducing the shock of the unknown, easing the transition into a realm beyond ordinary perception. But this kind of begs the question, how did the author's understanding of the universe and the role of consciousness evolve through all of this?
So this is where it gets really interesting. The author starts to see the universe not as this fixed objective reality, but as a dynamic interplay of consciousness and experience. He uses this analogy of a disinterested party entering the universe simply to experience it, not to control it or manipulate it.
So instead of trying to impose our will on the world, we become more like observers, participating in the grand play of existence.
Exactly. And this shift in perspective really resonated with the author, led him to question everything he thought he knew about reality and his place in it. He even started to explore this concept of a great secret to life, a hidden truth that could unlock the mysteries of existence.
Ooh. Did he find this great secret? What was it?
Well, this is where the author kind of throws a curveball. He reveals that there is no secret, or rather the secret is that there is no single fixed answer. Knowledge, according to him, unfolds continuously throughout life.
Oh, interesting. So it's not about reaching a final destination, but about embracing the ongoing process of discovery.
Exactly. The Sufi tradition emphasizes continual learning and the futility of seeking a single ultimate truth. The author's realization really reflects this core principle.
I like that. It's about embracing the mystery of existence, the constant unfolding of knowledge and experience.
Right.
That's a profound insight. It reminds me of that saying, the journey is the destination. But the author doesn't just leave us with philosophical musings, right? He goes into some pretty concrete theories about the nature of self.
Yes, he introduces this concept of essence and psyche, two distinct aspects of the self. He describes essence as our true nature, the core of our being, unconditioned and pure. It's the spark of the divine within us. The psyche, on the other hand, is that collection of thoughts, emotions, and personality traits we develop through our interactions with the world. It's shaped by our experiences, conditioning, and social interactions.
So the psyche is like the mask we wear, the persona we present to the world, while the essence is our true self, hidden beneath the layers.
That's a great way to put it. And the author believes that the psyche often dominates, obscuring our connection to our true essence. He even proposes this rather radical idea for breaking free from this dominance. He describes it as casting out his beloved son.
Okay, that's a powerful image and a bit cryptic. What did he mean by that?
It's open to interpretation, but it likely symbolizes this deliberate act of detachment from something he held very dear, something that was hindering his spiritual progress. It could represent a cherished belief, a deep-seated fear, or any attachment that was preventing him from experiencing his true self.
So it's about letting go, making a sacrifice to achieve a higher level of awareness. But this casting out wasn't a one-time event, was it?
Right, he saw it as an ongoing process of refinement, a continual shedding of the layers that keep us from fully experiencing our essence. This act of letting go, he believed, created the necessary space for the essence to emerge and
Yeah.
guide his life.
It sounds like a painful but ultimately liberating process. And it seems this experience led him to develop his own unique approach to teaching, right?
Yes, after years of study in inner transformation, he established an institute dedicated to sharing his knowledge. But his methods were far from conventional.
Okay, I'm ready for the unconventional part.
Right.
What did he do?
One of the most striking aspects was his focus on teaching children under the age of 12. He believed that young minds were more receptive to these teachings, less burdened by the conditioning of the adult world.
So he was trying to plant these seeds of awareness before the psyche fully formed, before the ego became too dominant.
Exactly. He saw children as having this more direct connection to their essence, and he wanted to nurture that connection before it got lost in the complexities of adult life.
It's a beautiful idea, but how did he actually teach these young minds? Did he have them meditating for hours or studying ancient texts?
He developed a series of exercises and games designed to help them explore different personalities and perspectives. He wasn't about lectures or memorization. He wanted them to learn through experience, through play, through a direct encounter with the world.
I'm picturing a very different kind of classroom. Can you give us an example of one of these exercises?
One that stands out is the darshan session he describes in his autobiography. During these sessions, the author interacted with his students through a translator, someone who represented his own psyche.
Wait, so he wasn't speaking directly to the children?
No, he was intentionally adding a layer of filtration to the communication. This demonstrated how information gets distorted and filtered as it passes through the layers of our minds.
That's a really clever way to illustrate the concept of the psyche. It shows how our perceptions shape our understanding of the world, how we often see things not as they are, but as we are.
Exactly. And by making this process visible, he encouraged his students to become aware of their own internal filters, to question their assumptions, and to develop a more discerning approach to knowledge and experience.
This is fascinating. It seems like he was using these exercises to teach, not just spiritual concepts, but also critical thinking skills.
Absolutely. He believed that true spiritual growth required a balanced approach, one that honored both intuition and intellect. He wasn't just trying to impart knowledge, but to cultivate a mindset of curiosity, skepticism, and a willingness to challenge conventional ways of thinking.
So it's not about blindly accepting anything, but about questioning, exploring, and finding your own truth. It sounds like a very empowering approach to education. But this is just one aspect of his teaching methods. We've got a lot more ground to cover in part 3, including a deeper exploration of his ideas about conscious living and that elusive inner world.
I think you'll find the next part of our deep dive quite illuminating. The author's journey offers valuable insights for anyone seeking to live a more conscious and meaningful life.
I can't wait to hear more. Stay tuned for the final part of our exploration into the world of Sufism through the lens of this remarkable autobiography. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Sufism. We've been exploring this fascinating autobiography of an American Sufi, his training, his teaching methods, and that really tantalizing concept of the inner world, this realm of pure being that exists beyond our everyday perceptions. It's a concept that's been hinted at throughout our exploration, and I'm really eager to unpack it further.
It's a concept that's central to a lot of mystical traditions, not just Sufism. In Kabbalah, it's the higher worlds. In Hinduism, the subtle realms. And in various esoteric schools, the astral plane. But no matter the name, the core idea is the same. There's this dimension of reality beyond the physical, a realm accessible through inner work and spiritual practice.
So it's not just a product of imagination, but a very real dimension of existence.
That's the claim made by mystics and esoteric traditions throughout history. And our author is no exception. He describes the inner world as a realm of profound beauty and wisdom, a source of knowledge and insight that can transform our understanding of ourselves and the universe.
I'm captivated by this idea, but also a little intimidated. How do we even begin to approach this inner world? Is it about, like, years of intense meditation or some secret initiation ritual?
Well, the author offers a more accessible path. He emphasizes the importance of mental discipline, the ability to quiet the mind, and cultivate a deeper level of focus. This can be achieved through practices like meditation, mindfulness, or even just focused concentration on a task.
So it's about training the mind to move beyond its usual chatter and distraction.
Exactly. It's about developing that capacity to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. This mental clarity then creates the space for a deeper awareness to emerge, an awareness that can begin to perceive those subtle energies and patterns that underlie our everyday experiences.
It sounds like a gradual process of refinement, peeling away the layers of conditioning and habitual patterns that cloud our perception. But is it all about sitting on a meditation cushion? Or is there a way to integrate this awareness into our daily lives?
That's a crucial point. The author emphasizes that true transformation doesn't happen in isolation. It's about bringing those insights gained through inner work into our interactions with the world. He challenges us to apply these principles of self-awareness, detachment, and mental discipline to all aspects of our lives, whether we're dealing with difficult relationships,
Yeah.
making decisions, or just going about our daily routine.
So it's not about escaping the world, but engaging with it in a more conscious and intentional way.
Exactly. It's about bringing that heightened level of awareness to everything we do, responding to challenges with more clarity, wisdom, and compassion, moving through the world with intention rather than reacting unconsciously. This, he argues, is the essence of conscious living.
It's a beautiful vision, but I imagine it's not always easy to maintain that level of awareness in the midst of all of life's chaos. Did the author acknowledge those challenges?
He was very honest about the difficulties. He spoke about the need to confront your shadows,
Yeah.
to let go of attachments, and to face the discomfort of breaking free from old patterns. He didn't sugarcoat the journey. He saw it as a process of continual refinement, a willingness to face your inner demons and embrace the unknown.
So not a path for the faint of heart.
It requires courage,
Yeah.
commitment, and a deep desire for transformation. But he also emphasized that the rewards are immeasurable. As we shed those limitations of our ego-driven perceptions, we connect more deeply with our essence, that spark of the divine within us. And this connection, he argues, is the source of true fulfillment and happiness.
It's about aligning ourselves with our true nature, finding that place of inner peace and harmony that's often obscured by all the noise of our everyday lives.
Exactly. And this alignment, he believed, allows us to live a life that's in harmony with the universe, a life that's both purposeful and profound.
It's a vision of human potential that's both inspiring and challenging. But it also raises a question. If the inner world is accessible to everyone, why don't more people experience it? Why is it still shrouded in so much mystery?
The author suggests that the inner world is like a mirror. It reflects back to us what we're ready to see. If we approach it with fear, doubt, or a closed mind, it will remain hidden. But if we approach it with curiosity, humility, and a sincere desire for growth, it will gradually reveal its secrets.
So it's not about forcing our way in, but about cultivating the right inner conditions for it to unveil itself.
Exactly. It's about creating a space within ourselves
Yeah.
for the inner world to emerge, a space of stillness, awareness, and openness to the unknown.
This has been an incredible journey, exploring the world of Sufism through the lens of this remarkable autobiography. What stood out to you, dear listener, from all of this? What resonates with you?
The author's story reminds us that the journey to the inner world is not a destination, but a process. It's a process of continual growth, transformation, and self-discovery that's available to everyone, regardless of background or belief system.
It's a reminder that the most profound journeys are often inward, and that the greatest discoveries are often found within ourselves. And if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to keep exploring. Read the author's work, delve into Sufi teachings, or simply begin cultivating a practice of inner reflection.
The path to the inner world is waiting to be discovered. May your journey be filled with wonder and illumination.
Until next time, keep those minds open and those hearts ignited